Hey guys, it's Tombox, and I need a haircut. And yes, we are doing a deck profile today, as you guys might have guessed from the angle of this room. Sorry, it's a bit of a mess, but the deck that we're showcasing to you guys today is personally my favorite of my three decks, which is Seyfert Thunder Dragon. I've been having a lot of fun with it, although I had to hit a bit of a wall when Orcust started to play IP Masquerena, and then I had to retune the deck, especially with the Orcust Sky Striker. And this is my Anti-Orcust build, especially if you go first. I'm going to make it sure that they are going to have a very rough time trying to play against it. I'll showcase to you guys the combo and everything, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. I would love to hear your ideas if there's anything else to tune, or if there's another big list out there that I am not aware of. Leave it down in the comment section, and let's jump into this one. Here we go. And what? Okay, now that the trash is out of the way, let's go into the main deck, and I'm gonna admit I have no outs Mystic Mind in the game one, so if you leave that down in the comment section, congratulations, good foresight for you. But looking into the main deck, starting off with triple Draconet, it is a one-card combo. Am I gonna get Nibiru'd with this combo? Yeah, probably, but even if you get Nibiru'd, it's fine. You should be able to pull a win as long as you have still 4 other cards in your hand that you're able to play. Unless you drew into the bricks, then not so much. But if you didn't draw into any bricks, then you should be fine. You should be able to outplay that Nibiru. That token will act as an extra body for you to go into Saryuja. You don't really need the Appaloosa anymore, but you're likely going to make one anyway, because it's rather easy to do it in this deck. So this one, of course, fetches out your Galaxy Serpent, because Galaxy Serpent is a level 2, which works well with the dangers, and you can just keep this in mind so that you can use it in the graveyard when you have this card in your graveyard, World Chalice Guard Dragon. Try to minimize the amount of stuff you use to set up your combo, because getting hit with Nibiru when you overcommitted your resources is pretty lethal. And if you draw this card, Nibiru is going to be effective against you regardless, because this is a brick card you don't want to draw. This is the World Chalice Brick Dragon. I ripped 2 common copies because there were 2 events that I went to, and I drew it basically 2 out of 3 games every single time, and it was terrible. And then I actually crushed the card, and I pulled out another copy and I replaced it. So this is the one that doesn't go to my hand because I borrowed this one, so we're now acquainted. We have a bit of a love-hate relationship. But remember, this card can also negate stuff that target your linked monsters. It's a hand trap ability. Higher tier players wouldn't have experienced it. They're like, oh, I'm gonna negate you. Yeah, I'm gonna chain my World Chalice Guard Dragon. Like, wait, it has an effect? Yeah, it has an effect, guys. Then, of course, they're going to the Danger lineup. We have Danger Tsuchinoko, Danger Jackalope, and we have Double Mothman. Nothing to explain right here. They're level 3, so they work with the Galaxy Serpent. And for Mothman, I'm choosing to run more Mothman because Mothman is a better replacement for the dangers that we lost previously. Of course, there's new balance. I wonder if more dangers are going to get hit. I personally don't think so. I really hope not. Like, if they put these down low, I'm going to be so sad. But, yeah, Mothman is better. Even though my opponent gets a setup, I get to set up my board, and having a setup is better than not having a setup. Or having a setup is better than not letting my opponent set up. Bad wording. Then we have Bigfoot, Nessie. These are just kind of standard level 8 big body, able to pop cards. And now we have our level 4 lineup. Level 4 lineup, favorite monster, and the namesake of the deck, which is Starlight Seyfert. Seyfert searches dragons, whatever that you send to the graveyard. Each effect is once per turn, so if you use the search effect, you can still use the banish effect to add a card. Some people are like, oh, you can only use one. Just read the card properly in the last line and you should be fine. You can use this to search out Phantasme by dumping a Destrudo. You can use this card to search for either or of the Chaos Dragon Lavinia or Darkest Diabolos, or you can search White or Black Dragon with this. Just choose the correct dragon. That's all it really takes. And this usually goes into the White and Black Dragon because White and Black Dragon counts for 2 bodies. And having 2 bodies, which means you have 1 extra one to kind of banish off later on. Anyways, and speaking of White and Black Dragon, of course, this lets you go into Guard Dragon combo if you open with 1 of these, which is why it's limited now, which is very sad for me, but it's okay. Honestly, it was a bit broken. Then we have 3 Luna, the Dark Spirit. I really like this card. Previously, I was using Vishuda for board cracking, except the fact if you lose the die roll and you're playing against like an Orcust player, they'll just time everything before you're able to spin the card, and you would have wasted a resource. So I feel very sad about the Vishuda. Vishuda is just kind of meh, and you can't use that normal monster, the monk, not normal, but the vanilla link to go into a Boral Sword. So it does get in the way, and it's kind of give or take. But what I like about Luna is that even if you draw into it with a danger effect, you can use it immediately, and it acts as basically pseudo white dragon. So if you dumped, say, one of your Thunder Dragon, like Dark Thunder Dragons, you can just summon it right away, and you get a free search or a free body right away. So I really like that, and it also works with the Curious combo. And it's level 4, so you can go into Dweller if you held on to it later on. Or if you go into Saryuja and you dig it up, you can still use it, which I really like. Even as a top deck, it's actually not that bad. Then for our final monster, we have Omni Dragon Brotar. I realized I'm starting to summon this one less and less, but I do like it in my hand sometimes, where if I set up a board, they destroy something, I get another search. I'm okay with that, and I still think it's very powerful, especially when you have everything already, and this might be the LP target to go to. Okay, for the remaining monsters, Thunder Dragon package, triple OG Thunder Dragon, because dangers. The moment you add 2, your opponent should suspect that you're running danger. Typically, a Thunder Dragon player only adds 1 at a time so that they can maximize fusion and the ability to recycle. And we have Double Roar, Double Dark. Hopefully you don't draw them as a 2 pair, because that sucks and we're not playing poker. And for the final 2, we have 1 Hawk and 1 Duo. You recycle the Hawk by ditching your additional Roar to add it back, and you can also use it to summon back the Duo. And when you do that, if you can use Duos and swing, get yourself another copy of some sort of Thunder monster, you can still tribute this one to turn it into Colossus. I've noticed that I've been using Duo a bit more before I go into Colossus, because I don't need the Colossus versus an Orcust matchup. It doesn't really matter 90% of the time, so I go into this and I save Colossus for a later push when I need an extra body. And yeah, that's how that works out. And besides, you can recycle and reuse the Duo. You can even hawk it back. Now, here's the part that's a little bit different. A lot of people kind of don't play Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I realized that I needed the level 4, and I needed the level 4 to be revived. So this card technically can revive Seyfert, and if it revives Seyfert, you get the extra level 4 body. And it lets you go into Trishula a little bit easier, like Fusion Trish. Because if you can't go into Fusion Trish, I guess is this TCGNA only? I'm not too sure. Maybe it is. But yeah, if you're able to go into reviving an additional card, this is like 2 extra cards that you get, 2 extra bodies, which makes it more consistent to dig out the Thunder stuff and ripping apart, say, Super Poly targets or whatever IP Masquerena your opponent has, which is really nice. I think it's really good. And then we have, of course, triple Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Just really powerful card. I don't know if it's going to live through the ban list. And then we have Diabolos, Phantasme, and Destrudo. Destrudo is like sometimes acts as just the extra extender if you have nothing else good to dump. It's pretty nice to have. And onto the spells. Spells, there's no surprise. Let's just put it all on the table right here. We have Guard Dragon, we have Dragon Ravine, and we have, well, place at a second's light. I've been on and off about this. I switch it with Allure and the Gold Sark package from time to time. But Sekka's Light is just so much more free to play, and you don't have to rely on actually having darks in your hand. Because there are certain occasions where you have too many lights, winds, and just like an awkward jumble of cards, and you have that one card, and it feels awful to be like, if you play Allure and you're forced to like banish danger monsters, it does not feel very good. So Sekka's Light just work better. And if you ask, does it contradict? It does. It does contradict, unless you draw into this later on in the combo, or you already open your full combo, and this is just the additional extenders just to secure the game. If you're going to be playing the Sekka's Light, make sure you can secure the game. And if you do full combo where you already extended to both Dragon Ravine and World Legacy Guard Dragon, I highly recommend just playing the Sekka's Light, because if your opponent puts any of these into the graveyard, you have a problem. If they put a Dragon Ravine into the graveyard, you cannot activate Sekka's Light anymore. Remember, Sekka's Light needs to be able to activate only under the condition where there are no spells in the graveyard. That is just some things I've caught on with some people. They forget that Sekka's Light, it's not that Sekka's Light doesn't allow you to just play spells and traps at all, but it also needs to have no spells in the graveyard to play, which is why a lot of people have to banish off the Sekka's Light before they play it. That's just a piece of ruling advice for everyone. Make sure you keep track of that, because I've seen people activate Sekka's Light while having spells in the graveyard, especially in this particular build anyway. If you guys haven't dinged the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do all that. And continuing on, we have Ib, World Chalice, Justice Art, just Ib combo, really powerful stuff. Remember, it's a level 5 tuner, so that if in the future, if you put out this card and a Thunder Dragon Dark, you can go into Ultimate Zolkin, and you can get yourself a free Crystal Ring by setting a card. It won't work in this build because you don't have enough cards to set, but I think Pure Thunder might be able to abuse it. I think Dino Thunder might be able to abuse this card as well. But anyways, moving on, deviating from the main topic here. So we have World Chalice Justice then we have our Guard Dragon package, which is LP, Pisty, and Romulus, which is the true package now because we don't have Agripane. And onto the first combo line, of course, we have Curious as our first combo line. So like, if this card is removed by your opponent's card effect, you get to add any card in your grave back to your hand. This card typically, it hurts when this card gets impermanence or gets Veilered. I think that's when it hurts the most. But otherwise, if you put this card on board, your opponent will be a little bit more reluctant to use Nibiru on you because of the fact that you'll be able to add a card back to your hand. So it's not really beneficial for them, and they don't really get a massive plus, and they do give you a decent body at the end. And of course, now into the other lineup, we have IP Masquerena, we have Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn, whatever that she can go into. And we have boss monsters, we have Appaloosa, we have Borosword Dragon, and we have Saryuja Skulldread. If you get hit by Nibiru before you can drop an Appaloosa, then I recommend with the remaining play, try to go into Skulldread to dig additional plays. Don't just go into Appaloosas just for the sake of Appaloosa. Next, we have our, I guess, Xyz. We have Abyss Dweller in the main, and we have Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy. This card was in so many people's side deck before. It has to be main deck, guys. If you don't main deck it, you might be doing something wrong. They adapted by putting Sky Striker stuff into their deck as well, so keep that in mind. Anyways, and finally we have Trishula, and we have one copy of Thunder Dragon Colossus. Yeah, this one you should probably make if you haven't gotten into the package. If you go to Curious play, don't go to Trishula. It's a bit of a huge waste of your resources. Guarantee. Try to do a different play because it might not be worth it at that point. But yes, that is the extra deck, and I guess I'll go into my side deck. I have multiple versions of the side deck, but here we go. We have System Down. System Down is just amazing if it successfully resolves, because that means you have a bit of a free turn against your opponent. They won't have Orcust Link on the field. They won't have any Orcust in the graveyard. Overall, you've reset their entire game to the point that it's going to be them trying to break your board again, and with a free turn you can really just dig into like setting up an OTK. That's why System Down's really good. But there's a problem. Artifact Lancia is a common side against you, so they could technically chain Lancia, and specifically in the Orcust matchup anyway. And if they Lancia you, well, that means they turned off their own Babel. So if you're not reliant on that particular engine, if you're just playing Thunders and Danger, you can still proceed to do a Borosword OTK. But Chaos Dragon Legionnaire definitely is going to be a bit more hindered. I kind of side out 1 or 2 copies of it when I put in System Down, expecting them to go into, say, a Lancia. Then Triple Twin Twister, because Triple Twin Twister is necessary. You just don't want to lose the Mystic Mine or Floodgates in game 2 and 3. Then we have Call by the Grave. This is like uncalled for to a lot of people. They're like, dude, you either main deck this or you don't. Well, I'm playing Sekka's Light, so I can't really main deck it. And it's very effective against like hand traps. I realize people just love siding hand traps against the Danger Thunder deck. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to Call by the Grave. And they seem so dumbfounded that this card is being sided. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with the trends right now. And then I personally also run Lancia. Well, one's not a sleeve broke, sorry. So triple Lancia, so that I can stun my opponent's play. But I have a bit of an iffy feeling. Personally, I think I prefer Chaos Hunter because it sets up my graveyard and I have a bigger body on the field at the end. But against Orcust it's a bit harder because they have to go into like a Dingirzu, and that's when you drop it because they have to declare the effect. And I'll play triple Dark Ruler no more for anyone that builds a giant board. So that's my first variant of the side deck. The second variant runs 2 Chaos Hunter, 2 Evenly Matched, and 2 Phantasme, just to maximize the amount of Phantasme, especially against Sky Striker. That one's a bit more like useful against like back row heavy decks. And then triple Cosmic Cyclone to banish away certain problem cards. Epidemic Eradicator to completely crush out Sky Striker matchup or any back row related matchup, and triple Mind Control. That's like an alternative side deck that I tried out. I enjoyed it in like one of the locals that run a lot more back row based deck, a lot more Sky Striker. But overall, if I'm going for heavy against Orcust, I might just stick with the top one, maybe tune a couple of cards. What are your suggestions for that? Leave it down in the comment section below, and let's go into the combo, the board that I finished with. Okay, this combo is going to rely on Draconet and Luna the Dark Spirit, no lights at all. And we are going to randomize 3 cards. Depending on what we have, we're going to actually play it out as if it was our hand, and we're going to play the combo out as if there's no hand trap. So the combo could either be like, 50% or 100% rip their whole hand apart. And in this case, that's actually not too bad, but we don't have access to ripping any cards out of my opponent's hand. This part is a bit iffy, unless you want to use the Destrudo and pay half your life. So keep track of time. This is going to take about 10 minutes to execute, so let's do this. So I don't have any of the key cards I want, so this is the minimum combo. So yeah, let's just do this. I summon out Draconet effect. If you want to choose to rip cards apart, you can just go into Brotar instead of going into Red MD. Red MD gives you the path to rip, I guess not rip, but like turn off the graveyard by summoning out Dweller. So if Dweller is more important than ripping cards apart, then do this variant. So summoning out the Galaxy Serpent. Galaxy Serpent is now summoned. We're going to proceed to summon our Synchro, Ib, Justisar effect activates, add the World Legacy Guard Dragon. Man, we have a lot of freestyle wins here. We're guaranteed like a Dweller at the end of this. Activate the World Legacy Guard Dragon, summon out the Serpent, and we're going to proceed to link that off into IP Masquerena. The zonings don't really matter, but I'm just going to put it here for now. Effective Ib, summon out Brick Dragon McGee. There you go. Thank God you didn't go to my hand, or else I have to restart this video again, and I restarted like twice already. Go ahead and link this one off into a Guard Dragon LP. With the LP in mind, do you want to banish and actually set up the double zone? In my answer to that is no, don't do that. If you can already get Nibiru'd here. This is 5 summons, so you don't want to do that. So you want to maintain 4 cards in your hand and actually be able to play. In that case, just go ahead and use the World Legacy Guard Dragon, move it over, and we're going to activate the LP effect, and we're going to summon out Red Eyes Darkness Metal, because Red Eyes Darkness Metal lets us extend further. It gives us 2 additional free monsters to play with, and using Red Eyes Darkness Metal, we're going to summon out World Chalice Guard Dragon. If you didn't get Nibiru'd by the LP, I think most of the cases you should be fine, unless they really want to wait. They're that patient, and we're going to go ahead and link these 2 off. Like, I would have prevented myself from even getting this far. Romulus effect. We're going to add the field spell. Proceed to take these 2 and link them off. Now you have an Appaloosa that cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is nice. At least you're not going to have to worry about someone trying to pop it. But most people just try to negate it, because it's 0 when you negate it, so it's fine. In any case, we can now activate the Dragon Ravine. We're going to toss our Destrudo into the graveyard, and with Destrudo in the graveyard, we're going to put the Seyfert into the graveyard. We're trying to maximize the amount of monsters we put out, and this is the best way to do it. And we're trying to ignore most of the cards in the hand as if they were not important. You guys might be wondering why I'm talking so soft, because it's like 4 AM right now. And continuing from here, we're going to link that off. We are going to put out a Thunder Dragon on the board. Don't worry. That's going to happen. Even though we have no Thunders, it's fine. This is TCG NA after all. We have cards to summon it out. With Pisty's effect, we're going to go ahead and summon out Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Red Eyes Darkness Metal, we're going to summon out Seyfert. So from here to here, here to here, we're going to send this to the graveyard, put out more level 4s. I don't know why we need more level 4s, but technically the only level 4 that we care about is this one. So with more level 4s, we're going to add ourselves the white dragon. We don't have to summon this right away. We can actually hold back because we have another dragon to summon. We are going to summon out Galaxy Serpent through the effect of the World Chalice Guard Dragon. And with these 3, we banish all 3. Don't worry, you're not going to be able to keep that monster anyway. We're going to go into a Trish. And with Trish, we're going to use its effect, banishing 1 monster, and look at your opponent's extra deck. It's really important that you look at their extra deck and choose whether or not you want to keep the Colossus or you want to go double up on something else. But in this case, I don't have a choice but to go into Colossus because I don't have any level 8s to play with. So whatever the case may be, I am going to banish Thunder Dragon Roar. This is now going to activate, adding this to the field. And to protect my monster, because I can't get the level 8, so this is the minimum combo you get here. Effect of Thunder Dragon Dark. Now we can go ahead and get ourselves the Hawk. Now, if you're greedy, you can do something else. You can actually force the Saryuja out at this point because you have enough bodies to actually force the Saryuja out. But I'm just going to demonstrate, like, what if you don't have the extra bodies? Instead, what you're going to be fetching out would be the Thunder Dragon Hawk. You're going to activate the Hawk, summon out the Thunder Dragon Roar back onto the field. Tribute that. Put that up here. So they can't search. Summon out Luna, because that's the one that you do have. So you have to banish a dark monster, which would be the Draco Net. And then you have the White Dragon Wyvern Burster. And you can banish a dark, which is, I guess, IP Masquerena. Go ahead and drop this. So now you have the Dweller as well. So overall, this is actually decent. If you had a copy of some of the dragons and you're able to fetch yourself a Chaos Dragon Levianeer, you don't even have to go into a Colossus. You could have went into Thunder Dragon Duo instead, but that's just an option if you can go into Thunder Dragon Duo like this. So you can maintain the Colossus in the extra deck and you would drop both of these, and then you rip a card out of their hand by banishing 3 darks, which you definitely have. 1, 2, 3. A little harder to maintain, let's be honest here. And then you rip 3 out, and then you can still go into a Hope Harbinger. This is protected from battle and card effect thanks to the co-link with Phoenix, so they have to turn off this card to really do some damage. Abyss Dweller is pretty safe from battle as well because you can protect battle with Hope Harbinger. You can absorb a spell, 2 negations right here, and shut off all the entire graveyard. And that's the end board I'm going with to kind of deal with Orcust. That's just the play. These 2 were the other 2 random cards I opened earlier. I did not use them, did not need them. But you can help you extend if you have a Jackalope. Jackalope can make it so that you don't even need the Thunder Dragon monsters at all. You can save the entire Thunder package for later, so it doesn't consume your resources as hard. Do you actually need the Phoenix? No, you technically don't. And if you read that they don't have any hand traps whatsoever, you could have done the double arrow play. Then you would be able to not use this, and then when you make the Trish, you can move the Trish over here and they still make your plays normally, and then you open your zones a little bit harder. Okay, that's the play that I currently end with. Of course, there's also the double hand rip play where you don't use Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Red Eyes Darkness Metal is just an extra option, which is why I run it, and it makes it easier for me to exploit the effects of Seyfert to give me extra bodies. Now let's move on to the next one. And this is a quick review of the Curious combo where you have 2 monsters and a Seyfert, normal summon out the Seyfert, send it to the grave, send it to the grave, get yourself Black Dragon because you can summon it right away. So Black Dragon, banish Seyfert, summon out the Black Dragon, 3 different types, same attribute. Proceed to link it off into Mr. Curious. Curious George is going to activate as well as your Black Dragon. Black Dragon will fetch the White Dragon, do that as Chainlink 1, so this is Chainlink 2. Chainlink 2, dump a card into the graveyard, dump the Thunder Dragon Roar, so that you have something to banish with your new white dragon. That gives you the full setup. That dumps in, and now we get ourselves the white dragon. This is now going to proc and send 3 more cards from the top of the deck to the graveyard, because a card was sent from the deck to the grave. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's pretty good, because we managed to put in a Red Eyes Darkness Metal. That's going to alter our play. I'll show you guys how that was going to work. But now we're going to go ahead and summon this out. Your opponent probably won't Nibiru you for the most case, because you get a lot of cards back when you do. Summon out the white dragon. Now that's going to summon in. That's going to trigger the Thunder Dragon Roar, summoning out the dark. And no one's going to really hit you here, so link that off. And when you link it off, go into your Appaloosa. Alright, Appaloosa is now on the field. Thunder Dragon Dark effect. We can add ourselves Thunder Dragon Hawk, so we can keep that in mind, so we can go into our Colossus later. Now we need to do our play. Remember, Red Eyes is already in the graveyard, so I guess we have to go into Brotar. So, go into LP, and then LP effect. LP effect, we're going to summon Brotar, wherever you are. I'm trying to do this combo as fast as I can, but where are you? Slow down. Did I miss it? There it is. Brotar's been summoned. Effect of Brotar, we're going to target LP, discard a card, and we're going to add Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. These 2 cards, I just ignore them for what they are. With that in mind, we go into the other guard dragon, Pisty. Pisty is now going to revive our Red Eyes Darkness Metal. And from the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, take the Pisty and the LP and go into Romulus. That's going to help us add a spell. Activate that spell. We haven't used Red Eyes Darkness Metal just yet, so in any case, we can just throw away the remaining card in our hand to put a Darkest Diablos into the graveyard. We are going to be able to summon it, but we can use Red Eyes Darkness Metal to summon it out anyway. So, summon out the Darkest Diablos. Oh, one mistake I just made here. Don't summon the Romulus into a zone that's being pointed to, because it's going to mess you up. Instead, we're just going to Darkest Diablos, and Darkest Diablos tribute itself, rip 1 card back to top or bottom, and then we're going to make them shuffle with the Legionnaire. In this case, we're going to activate Thunder Dragon Hawk, summon back the Thunder Dragon Roar, tribute it, summon out Colossus, and the effect of Darkest Diablos will summon itself back out, which is going to be our body. And now we're going to drop the Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. We can banish 3 darks, so our earlier darks. That's going to make them shuffle their deck, so that's 2 cards out of the way. And we can just go ahead and overlay these 2. In any case, if you really want the protection from battle, then you can go ahead and link that off, especially when you don't want to leave 2 darks on the field, and then you can just go into a Nightmare Phoenix like this. So this way you have nothing that they can really kind of completely fuse off anymore. So Super Poly is not a big issue. This is protected from battle, protected, I believe, also. This one's not protected from card effect because, yeah, this one's not made with an IP Masquerena. But they can't search, 2 negates, and 2 cards ripped out, so they have 4 cards to play with. This cannot be destroyed by battle, even if they negate this. Overall, it's a pretty solid board, but of course you still lose to Dark Ruler no more. And that's my quick little demo of this particular play. Of course, things can change depending on what you have. If you have Thunder Dragons, of course your hand size extends bigger. That's all I really got for this one. If there's any mistakes or anything that you think is better, leave it down in the comments section below. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it and gave you a bit of a refresher, or maybe you're interested in playing the deck, hopefully it doesn't die to the ban list, leave a thumbs up in the video. And if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, I am currently working on Master Rule 2020 or Master Rule 5, whatever you guys want to call it. I think it's Master Rule 2020. They said it's not 5, but yeah, this is Master Rule 2020. I'm working on 3 decks. I'm testing out their combo, testing out their capacity, playing against other decks in the same capacity. Dino Thunder is one I'm bringing back. I'm also looking into Rockets as well, because they are the most requested by you guys, and I am going through it. It's just taking me some time to get used to the combo. I'm wondering, and I also have to look at Crystron, Clibrifax, or whatever it is. I don't know, Halifax, whatever you want to call that guy, Needle Fiber. I'm looking into how it's going to fit into the combo, and I don't really have a balance to go with, so I'm assuming Sky Striker won't be around. I'm assuming Orcust won't be around, so definitely going to be showcasing a couple different kinds of profile coming up, so stay tuned for that. And as always, don't forget to hold on to MST.TV, and if you want to help support me, check out the Patreon link down in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.